In today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 brutal retirement truths that no one really wants to admit. Over the past 10 years, I've helped clients all over the United States achieve financially successful retirements, and more importantly, avoid the kinds of mistakes that could cost them happiness in retirement. That's why I'm making this video, to share the 10 brutal retirement truths that you really need to hear. Understanding these truths could be the difference between a comfortable retirement and a financial nightmare. The first brutal truth is you're probably not going to spend enough in retirement to be completely happy. I know I may sound like a broken record on this, but I always start with this. The main goal of securement is for you to spend more while you're younger and healthier, enjoying life before potential health issues arise. In last week's video, I shared data from healthcare.gov showing that even if you're healthy now, there's a 15 to 30% chance you'll develop a medical condition within the next 8 years. Nice. A stat so depressing, I mentioned it 2 weeks in a row. But I digress. Good health is not guaranteed forever. You know that. And that's a reality we all have to plan for. Now back to your spending. Many common rules like the 4% rule are linear. They tell you to withdraw a set percentage each year. But following such rules strictly could lead to regret later when you realize you could have spent more but no longer have the health to do so. It's called the zone of regret. So every plan I create incorporates higher spending earlier in retirement. As general spending tends to decrease with age, make sure to enjoy your early retirement years with just a bit more spending than you initially planned. More on that later in the last brutal truth. The second brutal truth is that it may take years to find your retirement groove. Research shows many retirees struggle with adjusting in their first few years, often dealing with uncertainty, boredom, and a loss of purpose. AARP reports that nearly 50% of retirees hadn't adequately planned for their emotional needs, which makes this transition challenging. I recently spoke with 2 retired clients. One is thriving, while the other is considering returning to work. The thriving retiree kept a routine, explored new activities like dance classes, and even found a part-time job. This structure has helped keep her engaged and fulfilled. In contrast, the other retiree let each day unfold without a plan, leading to dissatisfaction. He's now focusing on adopting a structured routine to improve his situation. It's not just about planning your finances and financing your plan. Addressing emotional needs is just as critical. All kinds of studies consistently show that retirees who engage in activities like hobbies, volunteering, or maintaining relationships experience better overall health and satisfaction. Without this engagement, retirement can lead to feelings of boredom or even depression. It's essential to plan for activities to keep you mentally and socially active, ensuring a smoother and more fulfilling retirement transition. So what's the takeaway? Retirement requires effort and structure to stay emotionally and mentally fulfilled, just like any other stage of life. The third brutal truth is that your Social Security claiming decision is not as critical as you might think. No topic sparks more debate in my videos than this one. People have very strong opinions. Social Security is going bankrupt. I'm claiming early. Life expectancy for men is 70, so I'm claiming at my benefit age of 62. That's not accurate, by the way. If a man reaches 65, half will live another 21 years. Here's the reality. There's no perfect answer because we can't predict the future. I used to have a crystal ball, but it broke, and it wasn't reliable anyway. Yes, claiming early and living to 95, maybe you took too soon. Conversely, delaying too long and passing away early also wasn't ideal. When you compare the total dollars across various Social Security claiming strategies, the difference between them is often really minimal. Ultimately, the decision depends on your overall plan. For instance, if you retire at 65 without a pension, you'll need to cover your bills somehow. Do you claim your benefit? Maybe. These decisions are part of a broader strategy. They're not made in isolation. By the way, if you want your money that they've been holding on to for decades, that's okay also. The brutal truth, with apologies to all the Social Security optimization tools, it just doesn't matter that much. By the way, we can break this reason in a small amount of detail here because we only have a short amount of time, but we'll be going through this exact topic in more detail in a video later this month. So click subscribe now. The fourth brutal truth is that the best withdrawal strategy might involve paying tax sooner, much sooner than you want. Here's what I mean. One of the core principles of the securement approach is that optimizing your withdrawal strategy can significantly reduce your tax burden in retirement. This is a major opportunity, but it requires careful planning and a willingness to take some action. So your investments fall into three tax categories: taxable, where you pay tax annually on the gains; tax deferred, like 401ks and IRAs; and tax-free, Roth accounts. The key is to balance the right amount of money in each category to minimize your long-term tax burden. The best strategy varies for everyone. For example, if most of your wealth is in a 401k, your options will differ from mine. After selling my business in 2007, I paid more in taxes than expected. Cue the sad violin. But now my remaining assets are in a strong tax position. Many people hesitate because taking action means paying taxes sooner than they expected. In my own plan, if I convert aggressively for 4 to 5 years post-retirement, I could live off my Roth money tax-free and avoid taxes on Social Security. Instead of leaving taxable inherited IRAs, my children could receive Roth assets, which they'd inherit tax-free, assuming they're nice to me, of course. By doing Roth conversions now and reducing tax-deferred balances, you can secure a stronger financial future. But the hard truth is you'll need to accept paying some tax up front. Here's the fifth brutal truth. Your paid-off home isn't as free as you think. Many people retire with no mortgage, which seems preferable, thinking that their home won't cost them much more going forward. This is a misconception. Even without a mortgage, home ownership still comes with significant expenses. There's maintenance costs and repairs, property taxes, and insurance. All of these expense categories continue. In fact, according to the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard, homeowners spend an average of 1 to 4% of their home's value annually on maintenance. For a $300,000 home, that could mean somewhere between $3,000 and $12,000 per year. These ongoing costs can impact your retirement budget. So while paying off the mortgage can be a big relief, it doesn't mean your home is truly free. To prepare for these expenses, create a home maintenance fund as part of your retirement budget. Set aside a portion of your annual savings specifically for repairs and unexpected home costs. This proactive step will ensure you're financially ready for ongoing expenses, helping you maintain your home without derailing your retirement plans. The sixth brutal truth is that your beautiful cutting-edge QD OLED TV could kill you. Okay, I know it wasn't the TV, and it certainly wasn't the latest and greatest model. This did not cause my dad's dementia, but I don't think it helped. And this is wholly unrelated to financial services, but my family was in the retail wine business for many years. We sold the business in 2007. My dad was 71. I was 41. I kept working. My dad retired. He had two hobbies. One was playing basketball, which he did at a pretty high level into his 80s. Fun fact, he was a great athlete. My dad, me, not so much. I went one way and the ball went the other. That's why I became a runner. Never mind, back to my dad. His other interest was talking about the street he grew up on in Chicago, Division Street, over and over. Division Street, I'm not joking, it was really sad. Research shows that excessive TV watching in retirement is linked to cognitive decline. A study from the University College London found that older adults who watched more than 3.5 hours of television daily showed poorer memory performance on word recall tests compared to those who watched less TV. Another study showed that higher TV viewing was associated with loss of gray matter in the brain, which plays a key role in cognitive function. For my dad, TV became a crutch, something to do, and this made him fall prey to our ninth brutal truth in this incredible video. I'm kidding, sort of. Keep watching, you're almost there. But now it's time for the seventh brutal truth, and that's that your dream retirement location may not be so dreamy. Look, I'm all for chasing your dreams, but it pays to do your homework. Take this recent example, Asheville, North Carolina. It's a beautiful place with a lively outdoor scene and great arts culture. I have clients who move there, drawn by its small town feel, but also its city-like amenities, kind of like a mini Chicago. But here's the catch. Asheville got hammered by Hurricane Helene in September of 2024. Torrential rains led to massive flooding, power outages, the roads collapsed, and plenty of people were stuck without basic services. The problem is the area had already seen a ton of rain before Helene even hit, so the ground was saturated, the rivers were overflowing, and then Helene came and made everything worse. Could they have predicted it? Maybe, maybe not. There was a big storm there in 1916. I can't say I remember that when I was just a baby. So Asheville seemed like a dream retirement spot for some, but it shows that even your perfect place may not be so perfect. Once in a century storm, probably. Don't even get me started on all my clients moving to Florida. Helene, Milton. A few years back, a hurricane ruined my client's new house, not even a year after they moved in. Welcome to the neighborhood. It's just that it seems like every other day I hear about someone moving to their dream spot only to come back from where they came. So please do your research before making the big move. If you want extra help with your retirement plan, click the first link in the description, and my team and I will review your situation and help you develop a game plan. Now back to your video. The eighth brutal truth is that investment performance doesn't matter. Sort of. Let me be clear. While investment returns matter, the timing of those returns matter much more. And if you've stuck with me this far, you've likely heard of sequence of returns risk. This concept refers to how negative returns early in retirement are far more damaging than if they occur later in retirement. For example, I had a client who unexpectedly lost her job in early 2022, just as the market dropped. And she's not alone. About 50% of retirees leave the workforce earlier than planned due to health issues, layoffs, or caregiving responsibilities. If your savings aren't ready for early withdrawals, this can create significant financial strain. Thankfully, my client was well positioned because a core securement principle is to ensure investments can handle retirement starting at least 3 years earlier than expected without exposing key funds to market risk. This safeguard keeps essential money protected. But imagine if she had started withdrawing during the market's downturn in 2022 when the S&P fell nearly 20%. A portfolio of $500,000 could have dropped to $430,000 after a 10% loss on withdrawals, an outcome that could permanently alter her retirement plans. Retiring just 1 year later during the bull market would have left her in a much better position. Timing is the real game changer. The ninth brutal truth is you probably won't say yes enough to be engaged fully with others. I remember when my best friend's father passed away. I saw his mother a few months later. "How you doing?" I asked her. She told me that she never says no. People would reach out to her. At first, they just wanted to bring her dinner, which was nice. But what she really wanted, what she desperately wanted, was something to do. A way to occupy her time. So they started inviting her places, and she made it her policy to never say no. If someone asked her to do something, even if she wasn't super enthused by what was being proposed, she still said yes. This is hard because the brutal truth is that most people won't say yes enough to be fully engaged with others. But this might be the most important skill in retirement. In retirement, saying yes to new opportunities can bring unique and unexpected benefits. After years of being defined by your career, embracing new experiences can help you explore different roles and identities, whether through mentoring, teaching, or learning something entirely new. My wonderful wife is not retired, but she has a passion for creating decorative signs in Canva for our friends' weddings and celebrations. A mini business in the making, even if it's more for fun than profit. Since she struggles with 93% of the technical aspects, and I may not be exaggerating here, it looks like we'll be tackling this project together, which is nice. Help. I'm kidding. I don't need help. I enjoy it. And she can reinvent herself as something other than Daryl's wife. Kidding again. The brutal truth is you gotta say yes even when you don't want to. The 10th brutal truth is that the fear of catastrophic healthcare costs later in retirement will probably reduce your happiness earlier in retirement. Remember the first brutal truth about retirement about 15 minutes ago, about not spending enough in retirement? I know, long video. What can I say? YouTube likes long videos. Anyway, our last brutal truth is very similar. One of the main reasons people don't spend enough in retirement is the fear of needing a massive reserve of cash for long-term care. So they hold back throughout their entire retirement, worried they won't have enough to cover future medical needs. Here's some data. According to eHealth, 63% of retirees say healthcare costs are their biggest financial concern, and 55% say these fears lead them to spend less. BlackRock reports that many retirees cut spending early to save for long-term costs. And the Kaiser Family Foundation found that 73% of people between 50 and 64 are anxious about affording retirement health care. Here's an example. I have a client who loves golf and has the means to play the best courses, but he holds back because he's afraid of healthcare costs. He dreams of Pebble Beach and Pinehurst and the beautiful courses all over Chicago, but instead of swinging his clubs, he's holding on to those dollars. Quick side note, money isn't everything. I'm not trying to suggest it is. I have clients with more modest means who are loving life, but this guy, he loves golf. And all the pictures in the world, golf is not the same until you smell the grass and hit that ball down the fairway, or in my case, hit it 3 feet. I keep telling him that if he waits too long, he won't be physically able to enjoy it. The brutal truth is that he could take a small portion of his wealth, get a long-term insurance policy to cover a medical catastrophe, but he doesn't trust insurance companies. A whole nother story. The lesson? An irrational fear of healthcare costs later in life could rob you of enjoying the best years of your retirement. Okay, so now that you know the 10 brutal retirement truths no one wants to admit, you have a much better understanding of how to properly plan your retirement and how to have the best financial future possible. If you'd like our team of experts to look at your exact situation and help you better plan your retirement, click the first link in the description below. And thanks for watching.